Welcome back, everybody, to our second LAN qualifier matchup. We're through one. Davenport has punched their ticket with a 3-0 over Farmingdale State College. It was a tight one, though. 245-250, 6-5 round 11, and a 3-2 round 5 control. Are we in for more of the same? That is yet to be determined. We are going into the Mars Hill and New Mexico State matchup. Both teams looking to qualify for LAN for the first time. Mars Hill in their first ever season here, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see Mars Hill. We were just talking about it. Haven't got to see maybe too much of them, really, during the regular season. So it'll be a great look at what they're going to be able to do today because, you know, looking at some of their matches yesterday, they were playing very well, pretty consistent in some of their game modes. So I think it'll be, a great matchup here and a great look for them for a chance to get to LAN in their first year.
Absolutely the case. They missed out on a chance to qualify through the regional playoffs after losing the both winners finals and lower finals to the University of North America. Mars Hill had came out as the #1 seed in their region, but not quite able to get through it, and that was after a grueling battle with Newberry College, who they beat a second time in the lower bracket as well as in the winter semis. So for AG, Slapex, Mazo, and Kalen looking to get the job done here. And I think the thing about it is, look, the team has been surprising, I think, with the success that they have found immediately in their first season. Just comes down to, can they cap it off with the LAN performance?
That's the question, right? Very young roster here, maybe not been in this position too many times. So it's always, kind of a testament of what are these teams going to stack up to on the day. But these four guys, being young, being very agile, and just being aggressive as they are, could be, very well the team that makes it through. But on the other side, we'll take a look at, what we have here. And overall for the Aggies, I'm sure very familiar with at least these individuals, Phenom, Jolteon, Jose, as well as Electric MC. These guys, man. They've been around for a little bit, and well, when they get hot, Alan, they're difficult to really slow down.
Got a BO4 World Championship appearance out of Phenom in the mix. How long ago that was? Goodness. So, joining the college COD ranks, and New Mexico State has always been a contender throughout the seasons that they've played in with the CCL, but this one has by far been their best overall season. They had a very impressive 3-0 win versus Texas State before not quite beating Oklahoma Christian and also falling to St. Edwards in both the upper and lower bracket simultaneously. So here is how the seasons have gone for both of these two squads. Mars Hill, as mentioned, they were great in the regular season, 6-2 in the playoffs, the 2 losses as mentioned, but I think the crazy thing about it is they are not just a respawn team. They are not just a search and destroy team. They're getting it done in every single mode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, both teams pretty well-rounded when it comes down to just about every single mode, but I think what really jumps off the page is that 16-6 hardpoint win-loss, right? That's kind of one of the big factors I think that you're looking at here for Mars Hill. These guys have been really good in the hardpoints. On the other side, I feel like we have seen a lot of great HPs, especially through yesterday's games for the Aggies, but I think that this very well could be where that series is decided, just with how close they do play each other in a lot of these game modes.
Yeah, absolutely the case. New Mexico State has, I would say, fought through more grueling series, generally speaking, but, does that lead to the little bits of advantages they need to kind of survive through another tough series here? And they come out of their, CCL group qualifier in pretty good form for the most part. They did drop a very tight series to Farmingdale State, only winning the search and destroy. They lost both hard points, 229-250 and 214-250. So they've seen the extent of these maps going nearly the distance every single time through. Just comes down to, can they find a way to take an edge over a Mars Hill squad that has largely been full and complete from start to finish. They were 2-0 in their group, including a win versus that Davenport team we just saw qualify. So lots of formidability built into their recent schedules. To take a look at the best of 5 series map layout, it'll be hardpoint for the hotel, embassy, search and destroy, and then another hotel hard control after that before we look at a back and forth affair between hotel and embassy in the first 4 maps.
Yeah, and well, jumping off the page, I think is the embassies, right? I think both of these for Mars Hill were pretty good in the S&Ds and the hardpoints, but specifically the hardpoint, I think that they have been dominating a lot of teams when it comes down to that map. Their ARs, when they get firing, difficult to slow down, but hotel, that's what's up first. We'll see what this series has in store for us, Alan. Last one, it was a special one, man. A lot of crazy things happening, but I'm excited to get into this one and see who's qualifying next.
Going to be a fun one. New Mexico State, as mentioned, have been on the bubble a number of times over the course of the last couple of years. This, their best look thus far at trying to get their program to LAN. But for Mars Hill and the Mountain Lions, just north of Asheville, North Carolina, first year competing, of course, led by former CCL player Jamie Megatron, looking to get things done, but we are still waiting for map number 1, so all of that awesome frame-up has to wait a little while longer.
I guess it does, as everyone's getting ready to jump back into it. But yeah, you talk about the stories, you just talk about the history all leading up to a point like this, man. I mean, we keep kind of talking about it and alluding to it, but it's just such a big moment for these guys to get to that next step, get to that LAN. And I mean, based off what we just saw in the last series, right? Like we have favorites, and it isn't always the favorites that make it through, especially when you're in these, you are like basically, make or break it. Like it's these games that are going to decide it all. So very fun, man. And it just puts so much more on the line, and you just don't know how some of these individuals, especially maybe some of the freshmen that haven't been maybe in too much of this, over the years, you don't know how those guys are going to respond either.
It's a different mentality when, they've fought for their lives a couple of different times. Both these two teams have dropped down to the lower bracket in their regional qualifiers. They had to get to a certain point to even make it to this LAN qualifying group stage. And then in those groups, you're playing up against teams that you've seen throughout this region, your region, throughout the year. So you've got some experience there. But this is the first time these two teams have had a chance to play up against each other. It's going to be the first time they've played up against a new opponent in a while, and it's going to be a solid one. And on top of that, you're dealing with, this is one of the only matches you had all season where it's like, we could get our prep done. Like, we qualified yesterday for this matchup. We know that we're going to have one more match to go off of. Every match was pretty much on broadcast for the most part yesterday, so you've got a chance to go back and rewatch things. And this is, I think, a new level of skill that we don't often get a chance to see all that often, is that you have a chance to go back, look at the results, do some VOD, get some prep done, talk over what you want to veto, what you want to pick. Like, this is more so along the lines of what you see for like a CDL match, when it comes to prepping up until the point where you actually load into map number 1. So it's a different quest, I think, for both these two teams kind of getting ready for this matchup today.
Yeah, and you talk about that prep. I'm interested to see what the Aggies do in Control, because I don't think they got a round yesterday throughout their games that they had played. So, I mean, you talk about, trying to make adjustments, trying to put themselves in better situations. I think that will be a really telling point on whether or not they've been able to make maybe some of those adaptations we talked about. But hearing that, maybe we might be good jumping into this one here potentially. Don't want to jinx it, and we had some player issues before we ended up jumping back in and going live here for the second match. But hopefully we're good to go. Ready to jump into some more action here, Alan.
All right, LAN qualifier number 2 of 4. Ready to go. We got the Aggies from New Mexico State, the Mount Lions from Mars Hill. Hotel Hardpoint to kick us off. Phenom for the first blood. Electric follows up behind that. It's a 3-for-2 exchange, allowing a chance for New Mexico State to get some time here on the first hill.
Great opening. A lot of that aggression. You're going to see a lot of it, especially from players like Phenom. Might have this AR in his hands, but don't let it fool you. He can definitely make a lot of plays. Now we'll see a little bit of a fight back here. AG, nice little thrown shot. We'll find one, puts together the second, and will throw himself on the time and maybe start to think about this rotation.
Looking good for it. Just comes down to, can they find a way to possibly string together kills to really flip things around, and that actually may do it. Mazzo's double leads to a flip of the status on the minimap. It will be about a dead tie game going into P2, but Mars Hill and their blue and gold already set up. New Mexico State trying to break this from Chandelier side. All 4 members are here. There's actually only one player watching it, but AG gets an easy double. Followed up. New Mexico State do secure their break, and with that, they also flip the spawns.
Yeah, it's a great moment there. Just everyone floods through the same entrance, kind of catches a few of the members off guard, and allows the break to come through successfully. But Phenom has to try to get some work done right through mid. Beautiful shots coming on through. Finds the double. Will be able to keep his life, and still has a trophy system. Phenom finds 3. Phenom looking for all 4. Not going to be a full-on challenge there from Slaypax, but the damage is done, and you can see New Mexico starting to run away with a bit of a lead on P2.
Great help from his teammates as well when he was put down to both low ammo and low health. Get someone else to kind of watch that corner, make sure there is no follow-up from Mars Hill, and it leads to a secured break and a lot of time on the hill. Over towards Kitchen we go. Mars Hill going to be here first. A bit of a stretch from New Mexico State playing through bedroom side, trying to flip these spawns around the long way. And one kill may actually do it here. There's nobody watching the outside of this hard point from Mars Hill. Little second guess of where this hit is coming from as Mazzo turns his attention to the back doors. And yeah, this is all about just bunkering up and hoping you get the kills, because the spawns are out here for the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, they're out, and now we'll see maybe if the kills will actually come through. Mazzo there for 1, make it 2, snap it up for maybe 3, just can't land the shots. Teamwork is there. And they will be able to hold despite not having anyone in the back. Watch them. They are, and what was that? Three in a row. Mazzo starting to catch fire.
Yeah, that was almost a miscue for Mars Hill because they still didn't have anyone outside the hard point. They thought New Mexico State was spawning in the back. That was not the case, but it doesn't make a difference. Mazzo was shooting laser beams out of this Vaznev. New Mexico State still a chance, though, to contest. This is for 20 seconds worth of time, so you had about 10, 15 seconds worth of contest, and now 20 seconds worth of scrap. I just don't love that from the Lions. For Mars Hill just sitting on the inside of the hard point. They never had a read on where their spawns were, let alone where New Mexico State's were, and it just led to a lot of contest time and eventually a break. They only got about 20 seconds on the hill. That feels not quite good enough if you're Mars Hill early on.
Well, the chance to make up for it here. Rotation will be theirs first, and kills are looking pretty clean, at least right off the rip. Phenom's gonna have to slow down, wait for his teammates to spawn up, and yeah, approach maybe a couple of different angles. But Jolteon, could he make a play through the back? Needs to get a read here on multiple players, and he's not gonna find anything. So far, setup looking good. First 20 seconds locked in.
But again, it's just no focus on what's happening around the back here for Mars Hill. So you got 20, 25 seconds, maybe at most. But New Mexico State has still got the chance to fight for the majority of time here. That's the thing about it. When you talk about really any hard point, but in particular Hotel, is you have to dedicate someone to playing off of an anchor to make sure you get a read on where spawns are coming from. So yeah, a decent opportunity for Mars Hill, but ultimately it comes up New Mexico State's favor. These breaks and holds that we've seen have come away with the majority of time on all of our hard points until this point. Mars Hill need to do a better job of locking down the back if they want to have a chance to dig into this game and find a way to get into the lead.
Well, we'll see if they can try to fight for this rotation here. Not really going to have a lot of support, and well, once again, kills there. AG forced to try to go big, and Jose is there to shut him down as well, so able to grab control right away, but Kalen wants to break it open, and Kalen will find a double. That will allow them to get a touch, but Electric MC lines up three.
Yeah, and it's another one of those moments where the first 20 seconds are the way to Mars Hill, but there's still 40 to fight for here. Man, it feels closer than it is, and a lot of it is just because the gunfights have been tight, but it's in moments and in positions that are just not allowing Mars Hill to do too much with the hill at the moment. This is a nice moment. Full team wipe comes out. Mars Hill's going to use that as a chance to win this back 20 seconds, but New Mexico State's not done yet. Looking to kind of play through the old time on their transition over towards roofs, which Phenom will be the only one not here. And yeah, Mars Hill are giving up this time again. So another moment where the Mountain Lions are almost bottled up on the left side of the map, and they may not be in a convincing enough spot to hold these spawns depending on what happens on exit.
Yeah, they only have one player over by the hill right now, so if that battle's lost, all of a sudden control around the point is gone. But we'll see if they can try to hold back this push through Kitchen. So far, it's there. Lipex also able to get some good shots there on the Jolteon. Will he be able to find the kill in front? He does, and he's been able to play his life, but now maybe finally a moment where they actually have spawns in the back and they might be able to lock in some time.
Yeah, Slapex also very aware that there are going to be contestants immediately in front. Nice Semtex comes out, but oh my goodness, Zay gets a double from out of nowhere. Now he's cutting around the backside of the map, and just like that, Mars Hill lose their spawns. Kalen trying to lock things down, but New Mexico State break again. It's just too many holes in these setups for Mars Hill. I hate to harp on it, but it's been a problem on every single setup, which Mars Hill's been at all these hard points first. So it's a clear-cut issue, and New Mexico State are reaping the benefit, continuing to grow their lead little by little, hill after hill.
Starting to find a lot more freedom here for the subs. Electric MC gonna pop the Deddy, runs all the way to the back, will be sniffed out and will be traded out, but we'll see if they can maybe get something going. A good transition from P1 to P2 is what you're gonna need, and well, Phenom's able to find AG, no problem. The break is there once again, and well, the tide starting to go the way of the Aggies.
Yeah. Not looking good here for Mars Hill. Have to clean things up immediately, because the subs are all over the place for New Mexico State, just creating problems. I mean, Rotation 1 was like the first in a trilogy of break-in movies. This is Break-in 2, Electric MC apparently on the way. Phenom for a double. Jolteon gets the third. Last player to deal with is just one more, and that's AG inside of Rugs. And that will be easily cleaned up. Not looking good. It's do or die time here for Mars Hill early.
Yeah, sure is. Have to just fly forward, try to break this open. The spawns are a little bit in your favor with the kills that come through there on the old time on P1, so a chance maybe to fight, but have to sniff out these players and cannot allow them to influence the spawns. They've already been able to kind of get to the back, hold their lives here, so as they're not going to go searching really, but now finally finds that first one, trying to play his life. You need every single second you can get here.
They just don't know that Phenom's in the back. At the moment, he's just blocking, hasn't quite won the spawn to the moment, but Mars Hill will not be spawning in again. And starting to get a little out of hand. Nice moment here again for Mars Hill. A couple of kills come around the back, but again, get someone in the back here. Clear out some space. It's just every single time they get these clean feeds, it just feels like everyone just stays inside the hard point. Mazo trying to take away some space here at mid, but the hit is coming on the outsides, and it's pretty heavy-handed from this bottom side through Spa. Mexico State could use this as a chance to... Oh, I thought they would just block the spawns. They actually flip it here. So now they've got numbers trying to get in for this back 20. Kalen on 5, eventually taken away. Mazo, the last one standing. Joltian's got him low, but has no ammunition. Went to the knife, and Mazo will save the day.
That's a pretty good moment, all things considered. I mean, it gets very scrappy. There's a couple moments where Phenom can influence the spawns in the back, but do manage to hold on to just about all of that time. Bring it within 50. Have to find some good clean kills on this rotation. Electric MC, he is in a great spot to cut down everyone, and they have no idea where he is. He finds the first one, no problem.
Yeah, this is the first hard point that Mars Hill has not been here first at, so it'll be our first question on Mars Hill's break attempts. And also at the same rate, can New Mexico State put together a hold and maybe just win the game right here? First couple of kills decent. More threats along the outside. Jolteon low on health. Does not have a ton of help inside the hard point either, but still gets a second kill. Are you kidding? Spams down for the third. Steps away. Electric MC follows up, and NM State are going to hold on to this hard point for now. Mars Hill have to break. Otherwise, it's lights out in map number 1. 2 kills in. There's the third and the fourth, and we'll see another hill.
We'll see one more hill here, but man, oh man, 7 seconds. That's all you need. AG has to fly. He does get a read on Phenom. Everything would have to be clean, and well, you'd have to start chaining hills together. Not looking very likely. Slaypax in the back just has to try to fly forward. Needs to break something open.
Mazo takes care of the only Aggie, though, inside the hard point. Oh, if he could get this kill into Zay, it'd be big, but now it's just down to Kalen. Last one standing, and he will drop. That will surely be enough for New Mexico State to put this map away. 249, and there's 250. Yeah, it felt super tight early, but man, I really urge you all at home to kind of consider the fact that even though Mars Hill would get to the hard point first, they would maybe stave off the first break attempt. After that, it was just all chaos in the spawns, and there were just a significant lack of read and information for what the hold needed to do next. And New Mexico State did not falter outside of one single time when it came to breaking these hard points open with like 35, 40 seconds left in the hills.
Great opening game, though, at least for the Aggies. I mean, they play very, very clean. They don't have to, work super hard for some of those spawns and some of those breaks. It feels like maybe some of them come to them based off the setups that you were mentioning, but they're able to capitalize. And, I mean, that's kind of the critical thing, because I already mentioned the fact that there's 2 embassies here in this series. So the fact that they come out swinging, grab that first one, could be a little bit scary here on the opposition. But, I mean, very, very strong hard point. Everyone gets involved. Everyone also shares a lot of time, and I think 3 different players almost have like 2 minutes in the hill. So everyone doing the objective and doing what needs to be done.
Yeah, it just, again, you hate to see hard points end like this, where it just ultimately came down to a factor of oversight from Mars Hill. Maybe a little bit of panic, just figuring that there's going to be challenges all the time, always. And, you start to kind of closet yourself up a touch. And even though there were some great moments, as we continue to mention, it just simply put, there was more map control from Mexico State, which led to blocked spawns or flip spawns, and that ultimately was the win condition here. A couple of special 3 pieces on either side, but it just felt like there was a level of oversight there towards Mars Hill, and their awareness just was never really able to get there, because it started off really nicely. I mean, that little play through mid-front desk was solid, and you thought there may be an opportunity for Mars Hill to kind of string together the opening hill into the second, but yeah, just continual spawn problems for Mars Hill that they could never collect themselves from.
Yeah, tough scenes. Control wasn't there, but still lots of maps here to try to bring it back, and have to kind of bring up that question again. Were they really playing like their game plan? Were they just a little bit flustered here, just kind of settling in here to the series, knowing the importance of it? Hard to say, but time will certainly tell as we continue to go on through. But yeah, the scoreboard is like the most interesting thing here to me, because it's not too often you see like 3 members with like a minute 30 plus, I think it was here. And yeah, like take a look at that time, right? Like 138, 147, 134. So there was a lot of moments where the subs were roaming, but they were also like always sharing and on top of the objective here. Love to see that here for one of the stronger hardpoint teams, without a doubt. But nonetheless, they get the job done pretty convincingly. 250 to 167. Not a whole lot to say on the other side. Kills were coming through, just not the important ones.
Yeah, and even on top of that, take a look at Phenom at 22 and 20, 17 non-traded with only 28 seconds in the hard point and only 3 objective kills. So that's your guy that's opening up the space around the back of these hard points, right? Like, He's the one that, if there is somebody from Mars Hill trying to play outside the hard point, they're usually dying to Phenom, and then his teammates are quick to kind of follow up, take away that space, flip the spawns, and then get to work on the objective itself. Whereas for Mars Hill, they don't really have that same statistic to kind of talk through. I mean, you have Slapex 14 and 25. 9 of them were non-traded, but he got 6 of those 14 kills inside the objective. So he's trying to focus on the OBJ just as much as he's also trying to focus on the outside of the hard point. And there seemed to be a bit of miscommunication as far as who was going to kind of fulfill that anchor role in that particular map mode combo for Mars Hill. So a convincing opening for New Mexico State. We jump into a search and destroy on Embassy, where Mars Hill tries to bounce back.
Yeah, this is where they're going to have to try to bounce back here going forward. I mean, Embassy S&D, they won it yesterday, 6-5 there over the Panthers. And, I mean, we were watching the Panthers play some pretty crisp S&D on the day as well in their map number 2 in the last series. So a chance to be able to, you know, get back into the flow of things, get back into some of the maps that are certainly in your favor. And in coming back to, you know, this hotel point, you know, the Aggies haven't really been able to find any success so far when it comes down to that game mode. No rounds to count for. So this could be, you know, a really good point in the series to grab this map number 2, do what you do best in the Embassy search and destroys, and, you know, have a shot to tie that one up and then go into a very favorable hotel control. Could bode well for you going at least through the rest of the series if we can get that same team coming into the second map.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to speak onto it, Mars Hill did play Davenport on this map mode combo yesterday in a map which they won in round 11. And you got to remember that Davenport team is a very good search squad. So,
no, Alan, significant. You don't hear me.
Well, I just wanted to reiterate for the people at home, you know, just like I wanted to add the fact that Davenport is a super solid S&D team. So to go that round 11, you know, that's big. So
that's what I was saying. Yeah. They did do that.
They did do that. I don't know. I'm at a loss of things to talk about. Is what it was. I just tried to reiterate. I ended up saying the same thing. All right,
All right.
You know, take it for what it is.
All right.
First 2 kills go the way to Mars Hills. We're into round number 1, and an opportunity to plant here today as well. On top of that,
yeah, they do have a really good chance here. Like this is like 20, 30 seconds into the round already getting the bomb down today. Not what you expected. Well, Jose, I mean, might be able to get one here. No, not gonna have anything. Wow. Mars Hill, I mean, they just storm through mid, run to A, plant the bomb. They're not messing around. They get themselves on the board early.
What a cool look, too, for an opening round offense where a lot of your nades are sent through the bathroom windows, too. So you don't really really hide your intentions, right? I mean, there's no nades over towards the top side by Tennis. It's a lot of it coming right down the middle of the map. Ends up working out really nicely for him as a chance to kind of overwhelm those defenders that were quick to be on that cross by Xbox. So opening 1-0 for Mars Hill. And with how fast that round was, you're probably not going to see very many trophies or field upgrades of any sort in this round either.
True. Very, very true. Might see a little bit of patience come through, maybe work some picks, see if the aggression continues to come out here. A couple of feelers for the Aggies might be ideal. That's a heck of a shell. He just runs right out, and Phenom grabs a freebie. It is still a kill that comes through first there, so 3v3 is what we'll drop into. Lots of time on the clock. No one making any moves across the map so far on the attack.
This is going to be a nerve-wracking position, though, for Kalen, just simply off the fact that, yeah, he's got a really good look at both these upper windows, but no one is down low watching his cross anymore, so he doesn't know if anyone's right below him or challenging him over towards orange. We've got AG over the middle of the map. Slapex off on his lonesome here by Trucks. And New Mexico State are going to try to feel things out here on the A side of the map. Nice shots from Slapex. Opportunity for Electric as well, but the nade does connect. And as the defense rotates over towards A, now Phenom has gained that space topside ladder. Oh my goodness, Kalen nearly gets him with the pistol. And AG will turn this into a 1v1 with 26 seconds to play.
1 HP there for Phenom. Doesn't have much time to work with, but has a read on AG. Has it pinned at the back, and Phenom finds the remaining 2 kills there to even us up. A huge play comes through for him. Lives with just 1 HP off the back end of that pistol. Climbing up the ladder, then flies right to AG. Doesn't give him any time to reposition.
No. Really well done by Phenom. Just cutting off the angle. Surely he saw both players up top initially as well, so he knew that there's going to be a challenge probably towards that topside awning. So offense for offense we go. No bomb plants yet. It's all been kills at the moment. And Kalen will keep the scope out. Okay, so how do you choose to use it this time? Looks like he wants to go towards the second floor and watch over this hit that is already on the way towards B. New Mexico State is contesting this through mid, though. And wow, those nades nearly take down Kalen completely. Does see Phenom on the cross, but has to back up only on 23 HP.
Electric MC able to get 1. AG quick trades right back. Once again, 3v3 early, but Phenom, he's been battling with Galen back and forth here. No one going down, but we'll lose a second member now for Mars Hill. That's going to make this offense, well, that much more difficult. Jolteon finds another, all up to one. Need some big shots here out of Galen for a 1v3.
Yeah, and that's just off the fact that New Mexico State double hit through mid, right? I mean, they don't really have anybody watching for any cross-play from the tennis court by the B site. This is all about trying to contest and stay out of orange and play this from the front side of mid windows, which takes the scope out of play and also gives you just a flat-out 2v2 right on that mid lane without an opportunity for really anyone to assist for the side of Mars Hill. Sure. And I have to say as well, credit to Phenom and the opening set dates to kind of clear out that top window position, and then Phenom never allowing the scope to get the regen off completely. I mean, it felt like for the majority of the round, I mean, Galen was at like 50 HP or less.
Yeah, no clean shots, right? No, I like that. I'm absolutely with you there. Just put the pressure on the scope right away if he's willing to challenge you. Just never let him really get comfortable up there. Works out well. 2-1 now for the Aggies. Mars Hill looking for some kind of a resurgence here to make sure rounds don't start to get away from them. Phenom back up top. This time he's the one that eats the preset nade. Throws some out himself. Won't find any connections, but is able to keep his life.
Look at Mazo, though. He's the one that threw the Semtex, and he's already gotten behind this play and how he's transmitting all this information over to his teammates. Dead Silence will surely reset once he gets this kill into Oze. Holds the trigger, though, and the reset will not be there. Doesn't make a difference. He still wins the round with those 2 kills, essentially. Electric MC is pushed forward, but does not have the bomb. He has caught one player by surprise. He would need to do this again, though, if there were to be a chance for Mexico State to work their way back out of the round.
Has to make some big plays happen. Just clear out some of the top positions would be most ideal, but might not have a look at it. 40 seconds now on the clock, and you still have protection of that bomb all the way at the back. So don't have any real way of winning the round until you go and get that, unless you find all 3 kills and turn it into a TDM. And with 30 seconds left, it's looking like they're going to have to turn it into a TDM if no one gets the bomb.
Yeah, stun out Kalen. Whoa, goodness. Lots of good shots from Electric MC, but as of that range, does get pampered just a touch. Phenom, long range. Wow, really great shots. Does not quite finish off Kalen, though. And wow, even better secondary gunfight. You kidding me? That's a bold challenge.
Yeah. Like the heat check, but yeah, I mean, you called it right. Like that flank through the back. As soon as you find that double, and that's your bomb player as well. Like the round is basically done right then and there. No one can retrieve it in time. You already have players that are pushed up, so it doesn't really make sense for them to backtrack to have to get the bomb. You needed Phenom maybe to be the guy to go and do it a little bit sooner and allow Electric to kind of clear out space. If he finds a second, maybe there's a chance, but it's not to be. Defense holds 2-2 the tally.
Yep. Same setup for New Mexico State. 2 players cut through mid. This time Mazo, he's going to get so much off of that stun. And on top of that, they also have pushed back Phenom from being able to challenge topside AC. He's actually, I think, off the second floor completely here. Jose, bold peek. Nearly gets fully punished for it, but does stay alive. Bomb not in a position to be planted at the moment. We stay 4v4 somehow with all the chaos over the B site.
Yeah, a lot of shots, a lot of damage being thrown out. Just no kills. And Electric MC, he is sniffed out down low. But Jose, what a challenge over the top. Able to connect onto 2 members. And once again, it feels like moments where Mars Hill grab an advantage. It's just taken away from them the second after. 3v2 now with 40 seconds left.
That's just great timing for New Mexico State. You know, you get an active play over an admin building, so you know you're going to contest those players' topside window. That's the only threat from being able to stop those players from peeking over the railing over towards server. Ends up rewarding a 2-for-1 trade. Kalen, though, okay. That's his 3rd elimination. Turns this to a 2v2, 22 seconds on the clock, but the bomb is down over towards the B site. And surely New Mexico State know this with that double that came through from Jose earlier. Phenom still laying prone, waiting for his teammate of Jose to come around the back. Bomb collected. There's the dead silence. Kalen gets red, immediately destroyed, and then the bomb planted, but no chance to hop off of it, as New Mexico State will clean things up pretty easily in the 2v2.
Oh, but you could see where Kalen's mind was at. When he finds that kill, when he flies to the window there, like, he's trying to bait the kill cam and run over to the other site. So that's why, like, the defenders actually split up and go for a 1-for-1 to protect both sites. But it doesn't unfold fast enough when they work back over to B. They don't get the bomb down, and the support comes right through mid. And they do find themselves up now once again, 3-2. They've been holding on to it. Outside of that very first opening round, it has been mainly the Aggies just kind of maintaining control so far here in this map number 2.
And both teams have actually done a really solid job so far of trying to play in and through this admin building, causing a lot of distraction for the offenses. And I'll be curious to see if there's going to be anyone to put together a solid response for that at the moment. Because at the moment, it feels like these SMGs are getting a lot more availability to get into admin quickly than we normally see. Mazo was the guy to do it last time. Nades and stuns. This time, he does get stuck and taken out, but the trade is immediately there, so we stay in a 3v3.
Heck of an arm on that, man. Perfectly lands and finds yourself a nice little kill. You'll take it. And all of the attackers, once again, still stuck on this side of the map, so someone might have to be the playmaker, and you're looking at player 8 kind of through the middle of the map there, Electric, who's trying to work for a kill, and he does. He'll take one player out of the power position here, and this opens up this A lane now. They have options to go to either bomb site, and they draw the defenders over to A.
I don't know how you get back to this if you're Mars Hill. The only option is to possibly catch MC, but timing is absolutely perfect. Kill comes out. Mexico State looking good for their 4th round, unless AG... I was going to say if he can be as good as gold, but his periodic element is silver. Science nerds around the world maybe appreciate that reference. Otherwise, you're lost on it. Austin, did you catch that?
I'm lost. I'm lost in the sauce.
The periodic element for AG is silver. I was gonna say good as gold initially, and I was like, AG is silver though. Never mind. Just
I like where your head was at, Alan. I like that. You know.
just let me be. I'm just gonna go sit in the corner.
Oh man. Well, the Aggies are certainly putting it together again. That's for sure. Talked about the embassy maybe being a lot better for Mars Hill just with the success we've seen, but not coming to light so far. An Electric MC almost puts together a double. Critical trade is there. Long range shots there from Slaypex, who will be able to open up the A site just a tad bit more, but the defenders have also shifted over here in the 3v2.
Little pullback to B though on the way. Jose feels the pressure, and oh, what a challenge this is. Are you kidding? Oh, does not catch enough of Slaypex, though, who does earn the elimination. And now it's just down to Phil Phenom. 1v3. Long-range shots. That would be a nice freebie, but not going to work out. And now, of course, the offense are very aware of his positions and what his opportunities would be. Excuse me? No, just stop peeking him.
Yeah, don't
just stop peeking him.
Like... you don't need to take that challenge. He doesn't have a lot to work with. 20 seconds. Just simply wait out the clock here. And Marcel, well, it looks like they've listened to us. They've played the clock. A little bit of stinking comes through. Phenom's got no time to find the second and the defuse. And that will finally be around here going the way of Mars Hill.
Sheesh. I mean, work for it a little bit more than you need to, you know? It's just... Golly. Slaypex final kill, good. I would say by name, Slaypex initially on this roster was the one player to be most excited about. Based on some challengers' successes that he's had, or at least, if not successes, appearances that he's had. But the rest of the team has really kind of followed in nicely. I mean, he was, Slaypex was 14 and 25 or something in map number 1. Don't want to put it all on one guy, but it would be nice to see him kind of come into that same form that you would expect, especially in a key round here. This time Slaypex caught, trying to make the same play that New Mexico State was, trying to cut through mid like that. Jose sneaking forward, has Mazo on the other side, and he also gets caught just a touch off guard now, 3v2 with the bomb being planted.
Yeah, I like this call. Just immediately plant it. Don't waste any time. Killing, gonna drop down. Might be able to find a kill. No! Jose is there! Shuts him out of the play. And now AG... I mean, this is just not a position anyone ever wants to be in for a 1 versus 3. On the flank with no dead silence. Has at least a stun and a nade, but he's already used up more than half the clock.
Yep. Just in an impossible position, honestly. There's the check. Nice double up, though. Problem is, do you know where Phenom is? And can you get the kill and get the bomb in time? He predicts it correctly. But, yeah, not enough time here. And even on top of that, Phenom bursts through the door, wins the gunfight, and New Mexico State quickly find themselves on map point.
Map point. Chance to go 2-0 up here. Phenom, I'm sure, was sweating a little bit in the closet. He heard, like, the stomping probably coming all the way up the staircase, but he just tucks himself away, makes sure that he's safe and sound. And the round goes their way. A couple of unnecessary challenges, but still get the round. Still 5-3 up, and Mars Hill Esports have not been able to put enough together here, specifically on a lot of their attacking rounds. They've been great at grabbing these first bloods, but they have been struggling to get across the map and play for some of these bomb plants.
That's a good point. Getting it over the hurdle. It almost kind of feels like the search and destroy storyline, what we saw in Hardpoint. Like, you're doing half the job correct, just comes down to finishing it off. This will feel very familiar. This is the exact same setup that Mars Hill had in round number 1 of their offense, getting just as much success as it did the first time around. But Phenom is in a position to challenge for a plant. Cutting across, Oze was trying to get a pinch on the play, and that will lead to Mars Hill just rotating over freely to B.
And as long as you don't give Phenom any freebies here, should be good. I mean, those are tough shots. Yeah, Kalen's on the Godhead. He'll confidently chow out there wide to make sure he brings it home. And, well, they do find themselves around. Very convincing. They've been loving this opening mid-play. We saw it in the round number 1. It worked out well for them. And it works out well for them again here in this one, but still need to put together a few more.
Yep. And the question's going to be right here on this defense, I think, more than anything else. You know, they've tried to get aggressive. It didn't work out the last time. They've tried to play passive. They've allowed New Mexico State to get kind of some quick plants because of that. So you're going to be in your own head a little bit here about what do you set up if you're Mars Hill. I would love to see them just double stack server with someone floating between orange and mid, and then just let one player sit top side to defend against A. But instead, they're going to try to get Mazo through P2. Shots out from Jolteon. I don't believe he's actually seen Mazo as of yet. And yeah, the kills do come through for Mars Hill. One on either side of the map. And New Mexico State's kind of stuck in a very, very bad position, knowing there's threats from behind as well as kind of forcing their way into a play forward. And yeah, Electric MC will be the last one left. This would be a 1v4.
Yep. Looking like we're primed and ready for yet another round 11 here, unless Electric MC does something spectacular. And well, he is under so much threat. Stuns, nades, keeping him low. I think it's the nade that finishes him off there. Mars Hill not going to budge. Looking a lot more convincing in these last couple of rounds here. Doing better with the opening engagements, playing their lives a little bit more. And well, we'll see another round 11 here, Alan.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that from Mars Hill. You know, it's a risky call if that play to try to get Mazo in towards the bottom side of the second hard point doesn't work. Or even if New Mexico State just get a read that there are 2 players on the bottom side of the map, they flood, and you have a hard time defending that B site. But
sure,
it's a curveball that does not get predicted. And now it's round 11 where New Mexico State will be on the offense, and Mars Hill will go to that 2 stack up top with 1 player down in orange. I like this setup for just kind of a default. You have a chance to kind of avoid any unnecessary first bloods, plus also still have some formidability with nades and things like that to contest this plant.
You know how cautious they are of this flank that's come through a couple times here where they've made this offensive push, but they're not going to wait around and find out. They're going to put the pressure right on the defensive play. Retake, and well, Mazo drops down low. He'll find the first one convincingly, but how are they going to be able to deal with the players inside of admin?
And Mazo's got to go. Yeah, this is the thing. And I think he takes a little bit too long to make this call. Jolteon watching the cross, pushes him back. I don't even think he was the intended target because Slapex drops behind him. Electric MC now another force for the post plant as he gets around the back, and this is just taking way too long. Mazo, doesn't quite get the angle. And now MC just runs away. AG from the other side trying to clear up the top side, but they've completely lost where New Mexico State has gone to. Time an issue. On the low ground, Mazo gets there, has to hold for this. Phenom is not in a position to check this. Hold on a second. If the kill comes through, maybe there's a chance to hold the defuse, but no! The shots come through at the very last moment. Phenom for the 1v2 in the round 11 winner.
Phenom just guns AG out of his boots there at the top of the window, man. He sprints into him. Look at this. First 3 bullets for sure must have landed before Phenom pulls that up. I don't know how on earth he finds that kill, but he does. And then he just transitions for the easy freebie on the bomb. It's close, it's precise, but it's all Phenom in that round 11, baby. My goodness, what a 1v2.
Man, it's one of those things that you can see it happening. Time is ticking down. Mars Hill misses a couple of chances to find a couple of key kills, so New Mexico State says, let's get out of the bomb. Let's not even see it. Let's just make them chase us. And it nearly costs them around 11, but Phenom, he's seen worlds, baby. He has got experience by the pound. And now up 2-0 are New Mexico State after Mars Hill was really starting to put it together there in those last 3 rounds.
I mean, that's just been the story today, hasn't it? Just one team getting so close, bringing it back, and not being able to get over the finish line, right? It's a couple of those situations, but this one, of course, really hurts because at this point in time, it looks like it's chalked, right? But
yeah,
Azo, gets shrugged off this angle and then just happens to catch Electric MC. If Electric MC manages to get through undetected, he probably spoils the entire round altogether.
Sure, no, I think you're absolutely right. But that miss right there, just the timing, not quite allowing Mazo a chance at the full gunfight, that could have been a difference maker because this couple of extra seconds to chase down Electric is absolutely the difference maker here because Phenom is not in position at the moment. But yeah, you're right. The first 3 shots were absolutely sent by Mars Hill first. Phenom taking all the damage, but a little jump up to the table. Tracking not quite there. Gets both. Wow. 12-6 for Phenom. That's a remarkable tally for him.
12-6 with the 1v2 to seal it as well. Yeah, man. I mean, I just would not want to hear AG after that right there because he must have been mind blown. I mean, I'm still shook with. I don't even know how he wins that first engagement, but I guess it happens, comes through, and yeah, just a crazy performance here individually from him. But that one gonna sting. And I mean, as much as I was talking about the fact that Aggies haven't been that good at control, with the way that these 2 maps have went for them, maybe we start to see that adaptation come through.
Yeah, maybe. Hard to say for sure, but ultimately, man, what a map we had. Again, this is the LAN qualifier. Winner advances. The LAN loser is done for the season. Be a painful one to just barely miss out in the top 8, but Mars Hill is a map away from having that happen to them. Need to find a way to regain as we go back to hotel for the control on the backside of the break. Don't go far. Our second LAN qualifier continues right after this. Welcome back. We had a 3-0 to open up our LAN qualifier day, and currently New Mexico State is up 2-0, trying to find a way to sweep in their own right. But after a tight search to destroy Mars Hill, starting to find their way into the series. But time is running out as we head into the hotel control, Austin.
Yeah, we head into hotel control, and if there is one map that you feel like you can really get in this series, it really should be this one, because the Aggies have been basically just throwing themselves on any map mode combination when it comes down to, this game mode. They're willing to play anything because nothing's been working, right? No rounds throughout yesterday on either map that they had played. One of them was actually hotel. So we'll see what they've learned and what they can bring into it. But on the other side, we can sing a bit of a different song here, right? Like, this is the chance here for Mars Hill Esports to get themselves on the board, transition into one of their best map mode combinations on Embassy Hardpoint, and maybe really give themselves a chance here in this series.
Yeah, that's the big thing after coming off of a round 11 loss with a map that you feel like was definitely winnable. Maybe just getting a read on New Mexico State's trends a bit too late. If you can get to a map 5, I think you feel decent about what your search and destroy looked like throughout map number 2. It just comes down to getting there in the first place. Hotel control is definitely that first step, because we saw the records on both sides. Both teams have been really solid when it comes down to every mode so far, but both teams, I would say, their weakest mode until this point has kind of been this control mode. So, maybe an opportunity to take advantage of that just a touch. This New Mexico State team that is currently, outslaying you for what it's worth. Try to find a way to turn that around, get into a position to find some map control, feel confident in your ability to find map control, trust that individuals can make the right plays. That could lead to a lot of confidence if you can get to a map 4.
Yeah, I want to see them really try to find themselves, and get themselves into a rhythm this game, right? Because like we were saying, like during the hard point, they were very bunkered up, very tense, didn't feel like they were, really ready for that map number 1 based off of what we've seen, previously from them leading up to this point. Yeah. So I imagine they're probably a little bit more loose. Again, they are down, so it's never easy to kind of build yourself back up, brick by brick, so to speak, but there is a chance to try to do so here. You just have to keep in the back of your mind that this is their weak point. This is where we need to take advantage. And like you said, come out and play confident. You can't be scared to take chows. You can't let them start to roam all over the map like we were seeing during that map number 1, because that's what was plaguing them. It really was what the SMGs were doing to create space and set up players like Phenom.
I think you just got to play your own game here if you're Mars Hill. It felt like a lot of that opening hardpoint turned into like a very reactionary status for Mars Hill, where it's like, okay, we know we're here first, but instead of us being proactive and taking over parts of the map to force New Mexico State to play through tough positions, we're just going to all bunker up together and just hope we get a reaction and a read, which that's not what you want, especially as you start to head into a hotel control. You need to be proactive on both sides of the control zone if you want to have a chance to turn the tides and you know, if it ends up being an all offensive affair, getting that key defense, or if it's the flip flop, it turns into all defense, being able to kind of change the turns and get some good offensive success. You know, whatever happens to end up being, staying reactionary like we've seen kind of out of Mars Hill, I think is going to lead to possibly a 3-0. So need to get aggressive here and, you know, fight like your life is on the line here, not just, you know, die over here and just keel over, because that's kind of what a lot of teams I think would be subject to coming off of a tough loss on the Search and Destroy, which was definitely winnable.
Yeah, very winnable, you know, definitely in their hands. Again, I'm sure AG would love to have that back as many times as he could, as it felt like he should have had it. It feels like it should be, you know, a series tied up 1-1, but again, not what played out. So have to find yourself into a spot where you can put yourself into a good position, find success, make sure you're winning some of these key gunfights, and like we said, set up off of each other. And you can't really just rely on one guy to do it. You know what I mean? Like we were seeing maybe previously, we saw Thrax kind of take over. Like, I don't think we've seen that from anyone here so far in the day. I don't think anyone's shooting like that. So you feel like it needs to really come through coordination and teamwork.
I agree with that. Just waiting on the final players to join. Just as a reminder, this is qualifying game number 2. We've got St. Edwards and CSUN coming up after this, and then St. Clair and SIUE to finish off the day. And I think we may have saved the best for last. Lots of history between those two squads. The one coming up, though, St. Edwards, a bit surprising to see them have to fight through the groups in the first place after coming up a touch short in their regional playoff. Whereas for CSUN, they actually kind of dropped the ball in a map 5 affair versus St. Clair. So they're looking pretty solid throughout the group stage, taking down that very good Newberry squad who couldn't quite get things going in the groups.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that 6-1 on, I think it was the hotel, definitely hurt them quite a bit. They were getting worked pretty hard. I mean, that's where St. Clair is just about always going to be best when you look at the S&Ds. Those guys are always ready to strike and are very difficult to deal with. But still, a lot of great matches here on the night. A lot of deciders, man. It sucks not having, you know, everyone here that we have, you know, going to LAN, but that's the way she goes. You can only have, you know, 4 more of these squads, I guess now 3, to make it on through. And, well, it's been tight the whole way through. Even if we have seen, you know, 3-0s, it's been very tight map affairs.
Yep, indeed the case. We jump on into the action. Map number 3, Hotel Control, Mars Hill. Must-win map. Try to get to an embassy hard point. Or if you get to that point, you start to feel like map 5 is nearly inevitable. But this New Mexico State team starting defensively, looking good off the bat. Phenom getting the first couple of kills to stop any play towards B, and then looking for more. That's that proactive mentality that we saw from Mexico State in the hard point starting to come through, but this time it does get punished, and Mars Hill can jump on the B zone.
And we'll be able to get some kind of presence here through the back. Kalen, though, stunned up, doesn't have the trophy fully down. Will try to deal some damage back, and he does manage to get some of the regen off, but Phenom here to respond, a chance to clear out the point. It's looking likely as they'll find 3. Everyone else now spawning up in kitchen, making their way to A.
Yeah, you just, if you're going to commit to try to control bar like that, everyone's got to go at the same time, and you don't want your ARs coming up the close staircase into tight gunfights. Just kind of felt like a misplay out of Mars Hill, so they don't get anything off the B zone. Immediately off of spawn, first tick of progress is looking likely here at A, but Oze stops it before it can get fully locked. Follow-up from Jolteon, good for another kill. So it comes at a small cost of lives, but Mars Hill eventually will have a chance to set themselves up on this A point.
Second tick should be all good. I think everyone else just going to simply move over, try to grab some of this mid control. As they're able to find that first, though. He wants to start to be the playmaker. He grabs control of the desk, but 2 players going to be able to come on through with the team shots. They will finish him off and make sure there's no advanced position here early for Mars Hill, but they do at least get that extra minute. Should be about a minute 40 in the clock.
Good exit kills here as well. One through rugs, the other over towards the top of roof. So Mars Hill will have a chance to rotate however they see fit to after the extra 60 seconds is added. Phenom challenged around the back, did not expect 2 players to be here, and now New Mexico State has to kind of knee-jerkly react to the play coming through the backside of their spawn. Phenom still spawns kind of up into place, though, and that's going to actually foil this entire hit for Mars Hill. Keeps the last 2 contestants kind of stuck on the backside of Spa, which Oze cleans up no worries, and New Mexico State back into their defensive ways with the map control and a 4-life lead.
Earn about 30 seconds off that clock there, too, just shutting down the whole back play, and Phenom pushes all the way out here, maybe trying to relap right through mid, but won't happen, will be shut down. Electric MC. 2 of his kills have been inside of the bedroom so far. Wants to keep the spree going, and he's about to feel a lot of the force in the pushback here from Mars Hill. They'll start to break in, try to regain control, but so far, everyone holding, and time is still ticking away.
Yeah, 42 seconds on the clock. Good kills here from Mars Hill. They regain bedroom control. Phenom in position to make sure that they're tested on their next hit. Oze also clearing out mid-map. So Marcel once again kind of have to pause, wait for a bit of assistance before they can really attempt to burst on towards this B zone. 23 seconds on the clock. Kalen sneaks into mid-map. No one was checking for that. Lives now dead even, 9 playing 9. Mexico State was working around through Catwalk to get bedroom control, but Marcel's on the zone. Kalen's still in a really solid position, but the kills all turn up to Mexico State just as the hit was underway. And now we're down to Mazo and 12 seconds for Marcel to keep this offense going.
Yeah, he's going to have to really just try to fly on through and just cut off a couple of the ARs through the back. He's good for the first one. Phenom's going to drop as well. Mazo has made the play. They have to worry about one player, though, from their side, Electric MC. But to break open the doors, peeks them open instead. Surprise, surprise, good for the first one. Just needs to wait for the reinforcements as they slowly come in, and they will overwhelm. And that will be the clearance.
Man, no trophy system stayed alive for Mars Hill. Those nades were finding value. Not only the Semtex we saw being thrown, but I think a couple of stuns that also connected on the zone. Just trying to keep the hit alive for so long. They couldn't replenish the trophy system, and ultimately New Mexico State, with the long play around the back, do contain Mars Hill, although it feels weird at first to say it because they're containing them on the zone itself, but ultimately the kills come through as needed. And Mars Hill would be just a little short of being able to capture that B zone after a really solid start from Mazo.
Well, improvements from yesterday. They got a round, but Mars Hill, I need to find a response. You cannot let this team go 2-0 up heading back into another defense. So this one, a lot riding on this round number 2 in my mind here. Need something convincing or just some signs of life as Electric MC is on 5 looking to earn the streak.
Yep. Oh, shut down though. Nice moment here for Mars Hill defensively. Only dropping 1 in the process, and now looking to get aggressive over towards this little mini pond. Mexico State, though, off spawn, have found clearance to get onto A. Clock will stop at 1:04 seconds. Nades and the rest of New Mexico State trying to clear out this backside of the point, and they've done well to this point. Kalen on 4. Long-range shots gets his 5th. Chance for streaks. Oze pushes him off the angle, but progress has stopped as Mars Hill kind of regain around A. Wow.
Gunfights like that. We're getting a lot of those gunfights out of Electric MC, specifically this map. He had a slow start at like 0-4, but he has really started to just take over here. A lot of big moments. Mazo, though, nice moment from him to try to clear out space and fly on through. He'll put together a 2-piece. Won't be enough to stop the zone from coming on in, but let's put a little extra pressure in there. Takes away a few more lives.
Oh, nice shots from Jolteon, tracking the whole way through that jump up. Still 2 lives, the difference at the moment. New Mexico State making their way on towards B. Jolteon is shredding this Mars Hill defense, though, top of the bar. Follow-up from the subs is decent. Goodness, those are bold challenges from Electric MC, but it doesn't make a difference. The clearance from Phenom comes through. The second tick of progress is now on the way. Oze still holding onto the site. Nice clear, though. Mazo, Semtex gets 1 in the zone, plus Phenom behind the desk. Can they get to Oze, though? Taking care of Jolteon should surely allow them to, and yeah, just before the second tick gets locked in, Mars Hill clears.
Oh, critical moment. Honestly, based off of Phenom's position, I was thinking that the round was over right then and there. He is basically watching the entire cross. No one can get through to the zone unless they deal with him, but finding him cleanly is what allows them to retake as swiftly as they did. Slapex wants to try to make a play here. He's getting a lot of sound cues. He knows there's a lot of members in and around him.
Yeah.
Hasn't been able to track any down, but in at 20, still lots of time to work with. Have to make something happen here and have to get full bedroom control.
Yeah, Marcel's got a really solid setup. You're trusting that Kalen can watch everything around the back. Everyone else is focused on bedroom control. A little bit of an opening through mid, but that's still a tough route to hit if you're New Mexico State. Big win from Slapex, survives with 1 HP. Taking down Electric MC, so this position, bottom side luggage, still contested. And off the regen, Slapex gets another down to 1 HP. And all of a sudden, Mars Hill defensively start to light things up. 12 plays 8, favoring the blue and gold of the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, he's grinding for some of those gunfights, let me tell you. Just getting away with murder. 45 seconds down on the clock. Marcel Esports, they are slowly but surely doing it. And you mentioned the lives. That's really the biggest problem. You can no longer afford to take your time nor throw free lives away. That's a tall ask here. That's a nice pickup there. Azo also might have gotten a read through the back, but 28 seconds, have to make something happen right through here.
I don't know if they know Electric MC got all the way through, though. This is a bit of another hole in the defense that will allow a chance for Mexico State to get around the back and still get onto zone. Final lives, though, here for the Aggies. Phenom and Oze, also the last ones that are still left on the zone itself, and up top, Kalen shuts down the play. It looks like the defense should be good to hold on to this second tick of progress. And on top of that, also, of course, the B zone. Yep, last shots will land, and the Mountain Lions take an edge here as we tie things up at 1.
Wow, Kalen just refused to be removed in and around that bedroom area, man. He was alive for so long. He had the luxury of having the sub in his back pocket here, and even swaps over to it here quickly. A little swap out, boom, clean shots out of Phenom. And that's what secures the 8th spree. And even finds the last elimination to put himself on 9. So reaching double digits here. Soon to hit it potentially, but the streak, the biggest factor and a huge moment for Mars Hill.
Yep.
Find some kind of sign of life.
Yeah, huge defensive play from Kalen. Okay, here we go. How do you use this streak? Mars Hill off their first offense. Went towards B. The same in mind here for their second in round 3. Kalen not quite able to see Electric MC down low. Phenom just still being a pass to the backside of the bar. And Semtex actually nearly connects fully with Kalen, who is still in a position to fight for this. And yeah, he's going to go on to 11 straight. Down low, though, Electric MC changes the angle. But they've missed Slaypex for a moment. A chance for him to possibly deter some of this defensive positioning, but no. Kills for Mexico State are solid. 5 for 3 the initial trade as Mars Hill heads over towards it.
A lot of map control here, though. This is what we wanted to see. Subs taking away, some of this map. Pushing out a little bit. Electric MC, though, has found his way into the back here. Will disrupt the spawns a little bit as well. Maybe has a chance to completely blow it open. They're searching for him. They know he's here. Nade's going to come out, and he'll finally be finished off. Jose going to give it another go, but won't be able to put together a second. With that set, Mars Hill should be good with that zone.
Yeah, really good stuff here from Mars Hill on this offensive holds that we're starting to see, because that was one of the things that was problematic for them on the hard point, was they would get into a good setup and then not be able to hold it.
Right.
Much better so far throughout both of these two offenses. Just comes down to, can they actually get the setup that they want towards B? So difficult to do, so you don't sit there and say that there's much to expect from it, but if they could find a way to kind of do the exact same thing they've done at A, you'd think that this B zone is definitely, vulnerable for them to possibly get up 2-1 here.
And they haven't had too many good looks, at the B point. They do have a touch here now, but no one's really here. Everyone also, for as far as the defenders, are all kind of caught through mid, but not going to stay on the zone any longer. Don't have the support, so just doesn't really have the confidence to stay on there safely. However, how are these defenders going to be able to make their way back across? Phenom's been kind of just dipping and diving, trying to get a read. Jolteon does find a good kill through the back. That should create just a little bit of safety here as you're starting to get your setup back intact.
The thing is, you don't anticipate that these players are going to want to stay this far back defensively. This is the battleground that they need to take. Just comes down to, are they aware that this is the battleground that they have to take? Now Mars Hill start to make their play around the back. Phenom catches one. Kalen's still working his way through as AG searches out what's at desk. And yeah, Mars Hill just unfortunately not able to find the kills they need. And now Mexico State get the full wipe they want. And they can start moving up the map now as they see fit.
Yeah, they're forced to basically just come right through the front, and it has not been very successful whatsoever. They haven't been able to fully clear out one of the members, and Electric MC's the man you're going to have to find as he starts to schmoove around the bedroom. Has the dead silence, is taking some laps, but a good read from Kalen does open up the first kill. Chance to make it happen, but limited on time, 20 seconds to go.
It's been really clean here for New Mexico State. Last chance comes by the way of AG. And he gets shut down. So no ticks of progress at B at the moment. Last chance, last lives from Mars Hill in this offensive effort. Kills are out, but maybe with not enough conviction to actually get to zone in time, no. So no ticks at B. And just like that, New Mexico State take back sort of an advantage, if you want to call it that here, with a chance to get the round 5 defense with a marginally successful offense, or just put the map away right here if they can find a way to finish it off.
Yeah, they have a chance to do so. You can get it done, and you need to see more proactive plays, I would say, right now out of Mars Hill. They've been struggling to really break open some of these setups, like we were kind of seeing, through that map number 1. We were talking over the hard point. Maybe a similar story here. Kalen's doing everything he can, though, right now. 30 kills to his name. AG and Slaypex, I think those are the two, again, that need to step up in some form heading into this round number 4.
8 and 19, 14 and 22. Slaypex has not had any really solid respawns as of yet. Mexico State off to a great start. First 2 kills allow them to get quickly on towards A with the stack. They also take down a player getting aggressive around the back. That was Mazo. So now you've got a chance here if Mexico State want with these kills to actually maybe even threaten some early progress at B. But Mars Hill, when called upon, do get the kills they need to stop that play from transitioning. Kalen even does a bit further by clearing off the A zone before the second tick of progress gets locked in. Big bounce back here for the Mountain Lions.
I love this aggression right now. Mid-map control is theirs as well. They're blocking that back luggage spot, and they are just farming New Mexico in the back of Kitchen at the moment. Starting to build up a couple of kill sprees. Mazo with a nice challenge, able to put himself on 3 in a row. Right behind him, 4 in a row from Kalen. Streaks could be in the cards.
Looking good for it. Kalen and Mazo working together towards A. New Mexico State a bit lost here what they want to do off spawn. It is just Mazo and Kalen, the only ones that are getting kills at the moment. 5 in a row for Mazo, 5 in a row for Kalen. As New Mexico State continue to be held away from the A zone. Mazo now for the cruise missile. How about this for Mars Hill? This is literally just Mazo and Kalen at the moment.
Yeah, they are just taking over at the moment. My goodness, putting together about 60 kills here combined. A little bit more than that, and they are still just absolutely frying out. 12 lives remaining. No zone has went over just yet. Forced to turn back over to A now with about 14 seconds on the clock. Jose is just going to have to fly.
And no one can take care of Mazo. I mean, everyone's just running individually through his line of sight. Finally, Electric MC gets the kill. Second tick of progress will be locked, plus the third on the way with a double stack in. Mars Hill not looking like they want to give this a challenge, and they will actually call out a cruise missile here. What? You're up 9 lives with less than 60 seconds to play. Plus, Kalen and Mazo still just aren't dying. I'm a bit puzzled by the opportunistic call to throw out that cruise missile right then and there.
Yeah, we'll see if it hurts them. Very well could, as we're probably going to get around number 5 here for the control. Only 6 lives remain, and there's not time to really work with here for New Mexico State. Just gonna have to fly out, maybe get themselves a touch onto the point, but you feel like this one is certainly gonna see around number 5. AG will drop down. There's a moment, but no lives remaining.
Oh, but Kalen drops. Kind of a raid boss down. Slapex will stop any further action to getting on towards the B zone. So Mars Hill will finish off the round with kills, not letting any progress happen at B whatsoever. And that should lead to a Mars Hill defense again in a control that has been nothing but defense to this point.
I will see ticks are very close. There was one round where they didn't really get any ticks of progress at B, so we'll see where they're at with it. But yeah, you really probably want defense at this point in time, like you said, based off of what we've seen. A lot of this back and forth, no one really being able to capture this B zone fully and make a move towards it, but we'll see. And there you go, defending is Mars Hill. They have a chance to grab this round, send it to the embassy, but they just got to hold out just like they did in the last one.
And the streak used will not be here for Mars Hill, but 39-19, 32-22. MC for first blood. This will be the first time Mexico State has an opening break-off set towards getting to B. Kills on bar are decent, but a trophy system does not get down in time. So the offensive teammates that are trying to play onto the zone themselves do not actually find much success. Jolteon gives up his position at top bedroom to try to get onto the zone, and he will be punished for that. Kalen getting pulled, and now he's up to 43-20.
I mean, he's going to hit 50 by the end of this, if not more. He has just been frying, man. Nobody can get through this guy in the back. It's a turret. Slapex also picking up just a tad bit, finding himself a few more kills. Will be taken out through mid, but, I mean, you still have great control, and you still have to get through Mazo, and he might take a route maybe around the back. I was thinking he might go for a flank. No, he wants to try to fight it here from the front.
Doesn't get a chance to. Still spins around Electric MC with those nades that come out. Doesn't make much of a difference, though, in the end-all, be-all, because New Mexico State still hold on to the A-zone for now. Slapex from one side, AG from the other. These two have not done much for Mars Hill to this point when it comes to round-winning plays. This could be one right here, though. AG not going to get the better of MC. Slapex also drops. So once again, Kalen and Mazo have to try to save the day if they even commit to this. And maybe they will, because Kalen's gotten 2. Third was nearly secured, but he backs off the gunfight. And that will be enough for the extra 60 seconds to come in. A 5-life lead, though, for Mars Hill.
Have to just hold on now for a minute 24. And they have great bedroom control. 2 players right now inside of bedroom. Jose is going to slowly work through this flank. This could be problematic here for them. If you can push up, block this close spawn, all of a sudden, everything really falls on the shoulders of the two players inside of the building. But kills coming back. Slapex finds a big one and tries to hold on to his life.
Yeah, New Mexico State have to take their time with these positions around the back. I know there's not a lot of clock to play with, but you have to control this back spot if you're going to throw two members around the back, and that may actually do it. Phenom, if he can move fast enough, maybe he could block spawns, but Slapex will still spawn close. Mazo from inside the zone does well to stop the initial contest from the front. Can you get more? Yeah, finishes off Jolteon over the top of the mid-desk heady. 15 plays, 11, down to 40 seconds, but they may not know that Phenom's still back in Spa.
I don't think they do. No one goes searching for him. I mean, based off player 3, he is kind of still angling himself like he could be back here. But we're low on time. Have to make a move. Have to try to get a touch here. And we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Phenom slowly clearing out all of the space here through the back. He should be able to give this information over that we have a chance to touch, and that's what they'll do. They'll hop on, but they're going to lose too.
Yeah, they lose the third as well. There's the fourth to drop. Mars Hill looking like they should be good for this defense. If they can just hold off this last hit, they've got New Mexico State spawning in the absolute worst position possible. Kalen at the same moment is also looking for kill number 50, which would be unbelievable. MC trying to touch. Gets crossed up, not able to touch the zone, and Mars Hill will take the control behind Kalen and Mazo, just doing it all.
That might be one of the best performances we've seen over the last couple of days from two individuals. Not to, criticize the other two members too much because they did step up, specifically in that last round. In this one, Slapex brings himself back into the play after only having something like 8 kills going into round 3. But 49 and 39 in control? What do you say?
They almost got 90 kills.
Yeah. 3 rounds worth of kills from just those two.
Dude, there's 150 total possible lives that you could play with, and they took 90 of the potential 150 total kills that are in any particular map of control. And we didn't get all 150 of them. There was a couple of rounds there where New Mexico State survived with 14. So, I mean, they got, 85% of the kills between the two of them? Or something like that. Statistics, math, stuff. But, man, I'll tell you, what an unbelievable set of lives those were for Mazo and Kalen in this one.
How about the resilience, though, from the roster, too, right? The round 11 loss in the 1v2 fashion, coming right into a round number 1 where you kind of get smacked around a little bit, lose a couple of key gunfights. Phenom has that hot start, but bringing it back, fighting, never giving up, and just constantly staying with it. That's really the biggest factor here. Incredible stuff, man.
Yeah.
Just so many highlight reels from Kalen and Naso through this entire package.
For real, this entire package could just be those two, honestly. I mean, the thing about it is we're in round 2 and it's just 15 and 12. Okay, that's pretty good. And then he ends up with 39. The amount of kills that came quickly in those last 3 rounds is unbelievable. Astronomical plays from both of those two. And then the biggest thing about it too, just to kind of, really root it, is Kalen got a lot of his eliminations just by playing that turret AR like you had mentioned kind of in the live action. There was never anybody that could peel him off those very powerful heady positions. No. Wow. Impressive stuff. But the biggest thing about it is Mars Hill stay alive in this series. And now, like you mentioned, they go to an Embassy hardpoint where they're going to feel really, I would say, saucy about their chances of getting to a map 5.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think saucy is the right word to use. I mean, you got to feel a bit of a resurgence winning the way that you did, especially with the numbers that were dropped, right? A big open map where ARs can be very dominant. Well, I mean, you're going to be in good hands if Kalen keeps shooting the way that he is. So, yeah, they're looking really primed and ready for that map number 4 to potentially maybe kick off one of the first reverse sweeps that we've seen so far on the day. But have to get it done. I'm also curious to see how many of these kills are non-traded as well.
Dude,
I mean, that's what I'm kind of dying to see right now. Yeah, how much
we're gonna see over 6K damage. If the scoreboard's not broken, damn it. It's fine, guys. It's May. We'll get a scoreboard fix eventually. 5,300 damage, though, for Kalen. 38 non-traded, so we'll at least get part of the answer.
That's a number.
That's a number.
That's a number, dude. 38 out of 49. You're happy if you get 38 eliminations, period. That's an incredible game, but to have 38 of those just be non-traded kills, Absurd stuff here out of Kalen, man. Just refusing to quit. 5,300 damage. I assume that's accurate for him, but who knows at this point in time? Either way, he was shooting anything that moved. Even if it didn't move, he was shooting it. It felt like anything just could not make its way to the zone. Incredible performance, man, to stay in this, but still a lot more work needs to be done, Alan.
Yeah, I'll say, especially considering how dominant New Mexico State were in that opening hard point, continually breaking, continually putting Mars Hill out of the favored spawn positions. You cannot have that happen here in an Embassy hard point again. So even though in theory and on record, Mars Hill should be feeling good about the fact that it is an Embassy, one of their home turfs for hard points coming up, there are still a lot of things that we need answers for immediately here if you're Mars Hill, because they were getting a really nice job on rotation, getting into position first, but not really cementing spawns, allowing Mexico State early threats. Those things have to change if Mars Hill want to see map 5 in my mind.
I agree with you. I think Kalen's got to be that guy that, like we kind of brought up in the map number 1 of the hotel, like Phenom was that guy that wasn't playing the time very often. He was controlling the spawns, and he was playing that more of that classical kind of anchor role that we saw back in the day, right? Where it's just the main AR just holding down something, just locking it in. I think we need to see that from Kalen, because the man can shoot. The guy can make plays. So if you can set him up and put him in the right spots, you feel like you should be able to bring that same success that we just saw out of that control, try to replicate that with some of those rotations and the hard points. And like you said, take away space. We get 4 down. Let's not just sit there and bunker up. Like, let's try to push forward, set ourselves up for the next map movement, try to stay just a step ahead of them. I think that's the key to get us to a map 5.
I agree. That has to be, I think, where our focus goes to first and foremost. We just have to see those things come into play. Otherwise, as much as, again, the statistics start to echo that Mars Hill should be able to see a map 5, this New Mexico State team is playing with some fuego right now. I mean, they looked really solid throughout playoffs. They went through a very weird regional playoff, like we mentioned in their bracket, kind of working through opponents that they didn't really necessarily expect. And then you finally get into your final moments, and overall, things just don't quite go your way out in the West. But ultimately, you're in a position now to kind of control your own destiny. Find a way to kind of fulfill the same mantras that you had during the hotel hardpoint. Get your breaks in play. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. Get around the back. Foil spawns first. If they can continue to do that here against the Mars Hill team, I think the Aggies have a chance to punch in the ticket for this 4th map and be our next team making it to LAN.
You want to get it done here, man. You just don't want to see another search and destroy go down to the wire the way that it did. It's just something that you just don't even want to think about here going forward. And I think that, we already have seen improvements. I talked about their control being a weak point. They had a chance to certainly close it, but not able to get over the finish line. A second respawn to do it here. Want to get it done, baby. 3-1. You'd love to see that tally. Advance to LAN. Don't worry about the stress of a reverse sweep slowly creeping up on you. But on the other hand, Mars Hill, this is their map mode. This is their chance to get us to a map 5. They got to come alive. All 4 of them need to come alive.
Yes, all 4 of them need to come alive. That's the biggest thing about it. So we'll see how it all moves from here. Mexico State first 2 kills go their way, and they're already on the hard point. So as far as starting off with a fire, how about this? 3 for 1, the opening exchange. Already 10 seconds earned in Slapex. He's already feeling the heat kick up. He feels like he needs to get over here and challenge his hard point, which is correct, because this could be the opening 20, given already the fact that Mexico State and Mazo doesn't finish his kill. He was looking for a drive-by, but he gets taken out, and Oze's still on the zone.
Yeah, that's going to really hurt you early, man. You don't usually see a lot of time go over on P1, but to potentially see 50 seconds here is not a good sign. Finally, a little bit of fight back comes on through the middle of the map here to get them off the time, and that's going to force the rotation. Jolteon just looking for that final kill to try to earn the streak.
Oh, man. Not a good start here for Mars Hill early. Jolteon getting to 6, so he will be taken off, but he does get the cruise missile earned. Phenom still playing around the back. Long-range shots to Mazo. A couple of tags are in. Electric finishes off the work, and that now puts Mars Hill spawning wrong side of the map into the AR of Phenom, or they have to go with the AR of Jolteon. Both are watching the deep outer portions of this lane. Phenom's trophy system's also working overtime right now. I mean, that thing just took away like 8 grenades. Eventually, he does get taken down, but it comes at the cost of the first 20 seconds of the Aggies.
Yeah, my trophies do not work like that, can confirm, but that one was doing everything it possibly could to keep him alive. Buys a lot of time and allows Jolteon now to set up again. Almost a nasty shot on the Kalen, but he's now putting together a couple of kills. Not enough to clear off the point. 20 seconds up for grabs. Would love to get it. And AG going to give it a hit. He's good for shots, but not good for the kill.
Yeah, not great news here for Mars Hill early. That's going to be guaranteed scrap time, and New Mexico State is going to be 20 points away from getting to the 100-point mark through 2 hills on Embassy. What? That's not what you want to hear if you're a Mars Hill fan. Mazo, lots of work to be done here. Gets the first cleanly. Also, shots to Jolteon are decent. Now for securing the 1v3. Yeah, how about that from Mazo? Cleans up everything for New Mexico State. And now the Mountain Lions have a chance to start earning some much-needed time early.
Yeah, remember that moment right there, especially if Mars Hill Esports start to bring it back, because Mazo has just done it. Breaks it open, cuts down some of the reinforcements, but will be cut down to the back. Won't earn the streak, and Jolteon comes right back up and is able to fly into the point here, so they don't hold on to it for very long. You're thinking with that setup, there could have been a chance, but 25 seconds, this is huge time here for New Mexico.
Oh, and the help has already arrived. The double hit doesn't work out for Mars Hill. Mazo's going to try to force the square peg into the round hole, and he gets 2. Goodness. I mean, Mazo is doing it all this series, it feels like. 11-6 on 3 in a row, holding on to some very key scrap time. Oze, the only Aggie towards new at admin, still playing just on top of the banister. And that will work out. Once again, New Mexico State will get the spawns they want right off the opening of this new hardpoint.
Oh, man. Have to hold here. Need to find something convincing, and finally it is. 4 players going to drop down. Going to create a bit of a split spawn here, maybe, potentially. Everyone not going to be up at the same time, so you got a bit of time here. Can lock it in. Have to be good on this next set as well. This is your chance to get back into the game.
And Kalen needs to watch this north lane. Let his teammates... Okay, never mind. No, he doesn't. Slapex is watching. I was going to say, if Kalen can lock down the top side of the map, the rest of his teammates can just focus on where the majority of this next hit's going to come from, which is on the inside of these hallways. 20 seconds to fight for. Mars Hill really step it up all of a sudden. Over the top of the desk. Good help from the teammates, and that's Slapex now on 5. And Mars Hill will lock in the majority of this hard point, getting us back to just about a 10-point game.
Oh, that's such good news. Kalen just has not really found the same form that we saw there in the control previously. Trying to get back to that point, though, is good for that first kill around the outskirts. Wants to now break in, flies into the point, and it's Slapex who's on 6 in a row. Does earn the cruise missile before dropping, but can the subs get the job done? Mazo able to deliver so many times before, not this time. And finally, New Mexico able to have a good moment here and hold on for a little bit of time.
Take a breath here if you're Mars Hill. Good kills on the outside of the hard point. Just hit this together. Do not allow individual kills to come through. Phenom, oh, it kind of misses out on a kill from Mazo thanks to the Semtex smoke. Doesn't make much of a difference. He's off the regen. Gets a read that the last contestant of Kalen is just on the other side of these doors to kitchen. And as the challenge comes through, Phenom is good for the kill, plus the follow-up from the Aggies. Leaving just 1 left, and Mars Hill will be unsuccessful in their break. The lead immediately back up to 40-plus points.
An electric MC, look at him, he's just flying. Might go right to top paper if he finds that kill. You have to imagine he goes up top, takes away the power position, and sets them up for the next hill. But that is a very dominating point there for New Mexico State. After giving up a bit of points there in the previous one, they make up for it and some, as they're back in control with a firm lead. And electric MC, he is causing problems once again.
I'll say 13 and 11, 45 seconds in the hard point. Well, Semtex will put him out of commission. We got nearly a 60-point game. Now over that as the New Mexico State Aggies once more get on towards the first hard point. Oze backing off, realizes there's not a lot of help nearby. Wisely takes the next gunfight. And Mars Hill, again, it's like you've got the kills you need, but there's just no proactivity after that. They're just kind of still waiting for the next set of gunfights to come through, and I just don't know what else you need. Maybe an invitation, an RSVP or something to get back onto these hills, but these hits have been a little bit disjointed. New Mexico State, once again, are finding advantages and taking really a lot of reward from it.
This is where it went wrong in the map number 1, where electric MC, and the other subs just start roaming around a little bit, finding kills, getting away, not being traded. That's the big problem, and now he's able to fly right out of the doors, but luckily, Caitlin there to stop the problem that was about to be 98 to 158. I mean, this is time that you just absolutely need. There's no excuses. Have to deal with these ARs in the back.
Yeah, and look at the route already being hit by Phenom. He's just watching the mid-cross. Let your teammates do the work from the back. Favorable side of this gunfight. Our point goes neutral. Slapex over the top of the vans and trucks. Nice shots. Takes down Jolteon. Mars Hill back into the hard point. Mexico State getting cut as AG's cutting off the middle of the map. How about that play? So now you've got kills coming the way of Mars Hill, and once more, a lifeline gets extended their way as the back 30 seconds starts to look more favorable.
Yes, Lapex has just been that guy so far in this map. 20 and 12. He is stepping up just as we asked. And you even got player number 4, AG. He's in position to start cutting down the rotators very early on. This is a scary moment to be in right now for the Aggies. They leave a lot of that P2 time, and just about all of it gets collected. Lapex about to overlap his streaks as he goes on another 5.
Kalen and AG are still also threatening for more resources here with these cruise missiles. Kalen gets to 5 before dropping. AG, no. Everything's shut down. New Mexico State on this rotation to servers. Open up with a flurry of gunfights. And that leads to them onto the hard point once again. It got to within 20. Before that, it got to within 10. But New Mexico State, when pressed, are refining the responses they need. Cruise missile gets called in. There should be a trophy system down, and there is. So Mars Hill going to have to do this the hard way. Without trophy systems in place, the stuns are starting to land. Phenom stuck in a corner. Or is he? Nearly still bounces out and finds the kill. Mars Hill will have a chance to neutralize, but more work to be done to secure this back 20.
More work needs to be done. And Electric MC going to give it one more good go here. It's a read, but AG smokes him with an AR. Not an easy gunfight to win there, close quarters, but Jolteon able to find exits, takes them off of that scrap time. We'll make sure that they are here first at the new point, down low in office, but last time they could barely even hold on to it. We'll see if they can finally get themselves to set up here and hold off Mars Hill.
It's going to be a 50-50 battle. All 8 members in and around these hallways. Trophy systems down for Phenom. Pops up over the front desk. Good for the first kill. Tracks down the second. The turn!
Ooh.
No! Not quite there, but Mexico State still spawned close. So Jolteon will find his way in to secure the trade, and Mexico State will take the early time.
Yeah, when you can't really get up top to surprise them, it can be really difficult to break this one open. Have to almost do it just through some crazy little mechanics flying through one of these doors. Jose watching closely. New Mexico now over 200 points. The break about to come through again for Mars Hill. Needs to be convincing, and it hasn't been so far. Once again, the hold is here. New Mexico looking good for maybe the remaining 22.
Oh boy, it's starting to get to that point again where you have to challenge everything, which of course means that the more you spend here on old, the lack of help you're going to have at new. Fortunate that Mazo still spawns close by, but the full scrap time for New Mexico State is in. Jolteon playing inside the hard point. Phenom there to assist. Mars Hill have 3 members nearby. They need to break this. They need to break it right now. And AG's taking his time. You got to go. You don't have time to watch this angle. You got to get in. And as he does, he's the last one standing. And New Mexico State will rotate everybody over, getting Electric MC on 5 and a chance to qualify for LAN 10 seconds away.
Feel like they're going to be able to do it here. Mars Hill running out of steam. Don't have a lot of answers. One final push to try to break into Kitchen, and it is denied here from the Aggies. New Mexico State, they get it done in map number 4. 3-1 victories. Our second team advances to the CCL LAN.
Man, New Mexico State played some clean Call of Duty in this series, man. I mean, I'm excited to see these guys in person, because if that's what they're doing online, a team from Asheville versus a team from New Mexico, like, that is not exactly what I would call a close proximal connection between the two. I'm excited to see this New Mexico State team, man. I think they played really, really solid, concentrated hard point. The control sure got a little bit away from them, but what are you going to do when 2 members drop nearly 90 combined kills against you? Like, that's just an individual difference right there. I thought the search and destroy, they did a really nice job kind of opening up the trends for the Embassy search, but here in this hard point, kind of the same problems that Mars Hill had on the hotel started to come into fruition again at key moments here on Embassy. And a lot of that is credit, I think, to what we are both looking at, which is the amount of pressure that these subs are really throwing across the entirety of the map for New Mexico State.
Yeah. Beautiful kind of just front line and back line, just playing off of each other constantly. And yeah, the subs, man, I mean, they're a factor. Where they're just running around. Like, look at this Electric MC. It feels like he's just always in these spots where he's just finding isolated kills, getting away with his life, and that is so valuable, especially when it's around the hard point, which a lot of the time it is.
Yeah.
Man, good moments here for Mars Hill. This was the moment here, though, where the game starts to get away from them, and that almost crazy 3-piece there from Phenom.
Unbelievable. Man, this is going to be a fun team to watch. They were in a tough bracket. You know, I think just coming through, you have to go through a team like Texas State. They 3-0 them. Impressive. But then you have to play up against an Oklahoma Christian squad and then eventually a St. Edward's squad, which they did take one map from on the bottom side of the lower bracket. But 26 and 17, 22 non-traded, 24 for Electric MC, 21 non-traded. I mean, these guys are flying, and no one's bashful about getting to the objective, which I love to see.
Yeah, that really is a theme with these guys, too. We saw it in the map number 1. It was like the exact same thing, right? Phenom, I think, was the one that had 30 seconds. The other 3 guys were the ones that were, racking up about a minute 30 apiece. So you do absolutely love to see it. It's not just one man's role. It's everybody getting involved, doing what needs to be done, and just, understanding the role of the overall game. Just knowing what to do, how to get the points. That's exactly what they're able to do. Execution is good, 250, 153, and that was on Mars Hill, like, their map mode, right? Like, that's something they have been convincingly winning on. So, like, that is no easy beat, but they get it done, man. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, 2 great hard points here from New Mexico State. Definitely a team to keep your eye on when they eventually get to land. But again, a massive congratulations to the Aggies. They have been on the bubble over the course of the last couple of years from being a major playoff threat. They've established that into this year. Now a chance to get the program on LAN. For Mars Hill, a hell of a first season. I mean, Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I mean, I can speak from experience. That is not a big school with not a lot of reputation in their esports program. For them to be into a position to finish what I guess is technically top 12, that's unbelievable for a first-year program here in College COD. Very exciting to see what they have in the future as they continue to develop that program, that school, and just the students that are now currently there, if not possibility of bringing in more in the future. Exciting things ahead of Mars Hill, I think.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, they played very well. They had a really good season, I mean, all the way up into this point, and they got very, very close. I mean, you take a look back at some of those rounds, right? Like another round 11, a 1v2 that comes through that maybe shouldn't have, and, things just go a little bit different in an embassy. Who knows what we get, but not to be, doesn't happen, but definitely looking forward to what those guys do in the future.
So that takes us past our halfway point. We've got 2 more teams to qualify for LAN. Coming up next, St. Edward's take on Cal State Northridge and the Matadors, who are looking for a chance to pick up after a Game 5 disappointment yesterday in their groups. Should be a good one. We'll send things to a break, get our teams ready. We'll be back with our third matchup right after this.